Welcome back to my channel Pocket Change Coins. If you're into finding hidden gems in your spare change, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the world of one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Roosevelt dime. Specifically, we're focusing on the 1979 Roosevelt dime, a coin that might seem like just another dime at first glance but could be worth a lot more than you think. Stick around until the end of this video, because you'll be shocked at just how much a 1979 Roosevelt dime can be worth. Now, when we think about the Roosevelt dime, the first thing that likely comes to mind is the image of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. His likeness has graced the dime since 1946, right after his death, in recognition of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. This coin has long been a symbol of American resilience and hope, but today, we're going to be talking about a specific year, 1979. The 1979 Roosevelt dime is often overlooked by many casual collectors, but it has a few characteristics that make it stand out from other years. In terms of design, the coin is relatively simple, but it carries an undeniable historical weight. On the obverse, we see the familiar bust of President Roosevelt, facing left, with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year, 1979. The reverse features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, representing freedom, peace, and strength, respectively. But what makes the 1979 Roosevelt dime so special? Well, for starters, there were multiple mints producing dimes that year: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. As is the case with many coins, the mint location can significantly impact a coin's value, especially if it has been produced in limited quantities or has unique features. For example, the dimes from the San Francisco Mint often feature a mint mark S and are sometimes produced in proof quality, which can add to their value. While the 1979 Roosevelt dime might seem common at first glance, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Coins that have been well preserved, free from wear, discoloration, or scratches, are much more valuable. Even slight signs of wear can cause a coin to lose a significant portion of its potential value. In fact, finding a 1979 Roosevelt dime in mint or uncirculated condition is incredibly rare, making such coins highly sought after by collectors. Now, let's talk about the rarest 1979 dimes. Some dimes from this year have a few anomalies, such as die cracks or double die errors, which can drastically increase the coin's value. These types of minting errors are highly coveted by collectors because they make each coin a one-of-a-kind piece. A well-known error, for instance, is the 1979 D double die variety, which features noticeable doubling of the lettering or images on the coin. If you happen to find one of these coins in your collection or in your pocket change, you could be looking at something incredibly valuable. You might be wondering, just how valuable can a 1979 Roosevelt dime really get? While most of these coins are worth only a few dollars, if you have one in excellent condition or with a unique error, its value can skyrocket. Coins that are in near-perfect uncirculated condition can fetch prices in the range of hundreds of dollars, especially if they're rare variations. But that's not all. Some 1979 Roosevelt dimes have been known to reach much higher prices, depending on their rarity and condition. Are you ready for the most jaw-dropping part of this video? Here's the real kicker: if you have a 1979 Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition, particularly one with a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a coin worth $64,000. Yes, you heard that right, $64,000 for a single dime. This may seem hard to believe, but for the right coin, the price tag is real. Coins with significant minting errors or those that are in perfect, uncirculated condition can bring in top dollar at auctions and coin markets. If you happen to come across one of these rare 1979 dimes, make sure to have it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Grading can significantly increase the value of a coin and give you a clearer idea of its market worth. So, next time you're going through your spare change or checking out coins in your collection, don't just dismiss a 1979 Roosevelt dime as just another dime. take a closer look. You could be holding onto a piece of American history that's worth far more than you ever imagined. Even if it's not a rare era coin, a well-preserved 1979 dime could still be a valuable addition to your collection. In conclusion, while the 1979 Roosevelt dime may seem like an ordinary coin, its value could be anything but ordinary if you know what to look for. With the right condition, minting errors, or special characteristics, you might just find that this small coin is hiding a huge treasure. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone new to the hobby, the thrill of discovering rare coins like the 1979 Roosevelt dime is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Today we're going to uncover a hidden gem in the world of American coins. We're diving into the world of the Roosevelt dime, specifically the 1984 issue. You might think that this is just another dime, a small coin with minimal value, but you'd be surprised at what this tiny piece of history could be worth, especially if you know what to look for. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency for decades, and it's known for its sleek design and the distinguished image of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. But today, we're zooming in on the 1984 Roosevelt dime. While this coin might seem like a common dime at first glance, there are some incredible factors about this year's release that could make it worth much more than you ever thought possible. First, let's talk about the design. The 1984 Roosevelt dime carries the same familiar features that have made this coin recognizable for so long. On the obverse, you'll find a profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt himself, with the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year, 1984. It's a simple but elegant design, reflecting the dignity of FDR and his leadership during some of the most challenging times in American history. The reverse shows a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. But now, here's where it gets interesting. While this coin was minted in large quantities that year, finding one in pristine condition can be quite a rarity. Most of these coins were circulated widely, used in everyday transactions, and have likely suffered from the usual wear and tear. Over the years, most of the 1984 dimes have lost some of their original luster, making well-preserved examples significantly more valuable. What collectors look for in a 1984 Roosevelt dime is condition. The better the coin's condition, the higher its potential value. A coin that has been well preserved, without any scratches, discoloration, or signs of wear, can fetch a much higher price on the market. And here's where it gets even more exciting. Coins with unique features or minting errors can add an extra layer of value. For example, certain varieties of the 1984 Roosevelt dime are known to have subtle yet noticeable flaws in the minting process, such as doubling in the design or certain die cracks that make them stand out from the rest. These error coins are highly prized by collectors because they are rare, unique, and often more valuable than the standard issue. It's also important to note that the 1984 dimes came from several different mints. The majority were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, but there were also coins minted in Denver, which bear the D mint mark. Coins that have been produced at a specific mint, especially ones that were part of a limited run or had special features, often carry a higher value among collectors. If you're lucky enough to have a 1984 Roosevelt dime with a unique feature or error from a mint known for producing high-quality coins, you could be sitting on a very valuable piece of history. So, what's the big deal with the 1984 Roosevelt dime, and why should you be paying attention to this seemingly humble coin? Well, as it turns out, coins like these can fetch impressive prices if they're in excellent condition, especially those with rare minting mistakes or those that are in pristine, uncirculated condition. A coin in such a state can really stand out on the market, and you could be looking at much higher value than you'd expect. Here comes the moment you've all been waiting for. You might be asking yourself, just how much could a 1984 Roosevelt dime be worth? The answer is quite shocking. If you have a 1984 Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition, particularly if it has rare minting errors, is in perfect uncirculated state, or has a specific mint mark that makes it stand out, it could easily be worth $54,000. Yes, that's right, $54,000 for a single dime. This might seem unbelievable, but it's true. Coins with rare attributes or perfect preservation can reach astronomical prices, particularly if they're sold at auction or to the right collector. So, if you happen to have a 1984 Roosevelt dime in your collection, it's definitely worth checking for any signs of rarity, minting errors, or unique features. A professional coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC, can help determine the true value of your coin and give you an official grade, which can make all the difference when it comes time to sell or trade. Who knew that something as small as a dime could hold such immense value? So, the next time you're flipping through your coin collection or digging through some old change, don't just pass by that 1984 Roosevelt dime. Take a closer look, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we're diving into the world of Roosevelt dimes, specifically the 1985 issue. Now, you might think the 1985 Roosevelt dime is just another run-of-the-mill coin, but stick around because this little piece of currency could be worth far more than you'd expect. In fact, if you've got one in great condition, you might be sitting on a goldmine. The Roosevelt dime has been an iconic part of American currency since its introduction in 1946, just after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. His image was chosen for the obverse side of the dime to honor his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse of the coin features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. It's simple, yet powerful, just like the man-at-honors, but let's focus in on the 1985 Roosevelt dime. This coin, like many others, was minted by the U.S. Mint in both Philadelphia and Denver, and it features the familiar design that we've come to expect from the Roosevelt series. The year 1985 marked a particularly important point in American coin history, and some very specific factors about the 1985 dime make it highly sought after by collectors. While millions of these dimes were produced, what sets the 1985 coin apart is the condition in which it survives today. Over the years, many 1985 dimes have been circulated widely, spent in everyday transactions, and thus experienced quite a bit of wear and tear. Most of these coins have seen heavy circulation, losing some of their original shine and detail. However, if you're lucky enough to come across a 1985 Roosevelt dime that has been preserved in excellent condition, you're in for a real treat. The value of a coin is largely determined by its condition, and in the case of the 1985 Roosevelt dime, the more pristine the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Coins that are well preserved, with no visible scratches or discoloration, and that retain their original luster, are highly desirable to collectors. These uncirculated or near-mint coins are the ones that fetch top dollar in the market. A coin that has been carefully stored and protected from the elements can see its value skyrocket compared to one that's been through the rigors of daily use. Now, let's talk about the errors that can significantly increase the value of the 1985 Roosevelt dime. Like all coins, the minting process isn't always perfect, and some dimes from 1985 were struck with interesting errors that make them even more valuable. These could include things like doubling in the design, die cracks, or other variations that make the coin stand out. Collectors love error coins because they're unique, and they can add a real premium to the value of the piece. If you happen to find a 1985 Roosevelt dime with an error, it could be worth even more than a perfect example of the coin. It's also worth noting that some 1985 Roosevelt dimes were produced at the Denver Mint, while others came from the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark on the reverse of the coin, either a D for Denver or no mint mark for Philadelphia, can affect the coin's value. Coins from certain mints are sometimes more sought after, especially if they're part of a limited release or have unique features. Keep in mind that finding a 1985 dime in flawless condition with a D mint mark, or a specific error, could really make this coin a rare treasure. So, how much is a 1985 Roosevelt dime worth, you ask? Well, if you've got an uncirculated coin, especially one that has been well preserved and doesn't show signs of wear, you could be looking at a coin worth a surprising amount. And if it's one with a minting error or some other unique feature, it could fetch an even higher price. Now, for the big reveal. Are you ready for this? If you've got a well-preserved 1985 Roosevelt dime, it could be worth $53,000, yes, that's right, $53,000 for a single dime. Who would have thought that such a small and humble coin could carry such a big value? It's amazing what a little preservation and a keen eye for unique features can do for the worth of a coin. So, if you have a 1985 Roosevelt dime in your collection or even tucked away in your change jar, it's definitely worth taking a second look. You might just have a rare gem in your hands. Today, we're diving into the world of the Roosevelt dime, with a special focus on the 1999 issue. If you think that the 1999 Roosevelt dime is just another regular coin, think again. While this dime may seem ordinary at first glance, it's actually one that holds some serious value for those in the know. Stick with me until the end of this video because I'm about to reveal just how much a 1999 Roosevelt dime could be worth. The Roosevelt dime is a coin that has been part of America's currency system for decades. First introduced in 1946, it was designed to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. The coin features a profile of Roosevelt on the obverse side and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Now, you might be wondering what makes the 1999 Roosevelt dime so special. The answer lies in its history, rarity, and condition. Although millions of these coins were minted, the value of the 1999 Roosevelt dime skyrockets when you look at its condition and any unique features it might have. A well-preserved, near-mint coin could be worth far more than its face value. Let's take a moment to understand why the condition of the 1999 Roosevelt dime plays such a crucial role in determining its worth. Over the years, many of these coins have been in circulation, used for everyday purchases, and thus have experienced wear and tear. Most 1999 dimes you'll find are scratched, dinged, and show signs of being spent repeatedly. The ones that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition are the true treasures, but that's not all. The 1999 Roosevelt dime is also known for a number of rare minting errors. These errors can range from small die cracks and doubling of the design to more noticeable features like off-center strikes. Coin collectors go wild over these error coins because they are one-of-a-kind, making them highly sought after and incredibly valuable. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1999 Roosevelt dime is the potential for finding a variety with a minting error. These coins can be worth far more than your average dime, and finding one of these error coins in perfect condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Also worth mentioning is the mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. The 1999 Roosevelt dime was produced by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. A coin from one mint might be worth slightly more than one from another, depending on its rarity and the demand among collectors. Some collectors specifically search for coins from one mint or the other, especially if they're looking to complete a set of Roosevelt dimes from different years. Now, let's get to the juicy part. Just how much is a 1999 Roosevelt dime worth? If you're lucky enough to have a well-preserved, uncirculated coin or perhaps one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But don't just take my word for it. This dime has been known to fetch some incredible prices at auctions and private sales, and now, for the grand reveal, if you've got a 1999 Roosevelt dime in great condition, you could be looking at a value of $43,000, that's right, $43,000 for a single dime. Who would have thought that such a small, everyday coin could hold such a significant value? It just goes to show how important it is to pay attention to the details when it comes to coin collecting. That seemingly ordinary dime in your collection or your spare change jar could be worth a whole lot more than you thought. Today, we have something special lined up for you, the Roosevelt one dime from 1992. If you think this coin is just a small piece of everyday currency, think again. There's much more to this seemingly ordinary dime than meets the eye. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how valuable this little coin could be. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1946, designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away just a year prior. Known for its distinct profile of Roosevelt on the obverse side and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, the dime symbolizes strength, peace, and liberty. While it has been a common coin for decades, some Roosevelt dimes, especially from certain years, have earned a place in the hearts of collectors due to their rarity, condition, and even unique minting errors. Let's focus on the 1992 issue. At first glance, you may think that a dime from this year doesn't carry much significance. After all, it's not part of a major commemorative series or a special limited release. But as many experienced coin collectors know, even seemingly ordinary coins can hold immense value if they meet certain conditions. And that's where the 1992 Roosevelt dime truly stands out. The primary factor that can significantly increase the value of this coin is its condition. Like most coins, the 1992 Roosevelt dime was minted in large numbers and circulated widely. Most dimes you'll come across are worn and have suffered from years of handling. These dimes are pretty much worth their face value of 10 cents. However, in the world of numismatics, it's the well-preserved coins, particularly those in mint state condition, that command the highest prices. A coin in mint condition shows no signs of wear and retains its original shine and luster. The more pristine the coin, the more valuable it becomes. So, if you happen to have a 1992 Roosevelt dime that has been kept in excellent condition, it could be worth significantly more than just a few cents. For a coin in near-perfect state, collectors are willing to pay top dollar to add it to their collections, but wait, there's more. Like many coins from this era, the 1992 Roosevelt dime also has a few rarities and potential errors that make it even more intriguing. Over the years, some dimes from 1992 have been found with minting defects, like double die errors, die cracks, or off-center strikes. Coins with these types of errors are often more valuable because they are unique, making them highly sought after by collectors who love the idea of owning a coin with a special flaw or design anomaly. Let's not forget about the mint mark either. The 1992 Roosevelt dime was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the former being denoted by a blank space on the coin and the latter marked with a D. While the difference between the two mint marks may seem subtle, certain coins from one mint or the other can carry a premium price, especially if they are in excellent condition or have unique characteristics. Now, let's get down to the question that's been on your mind. How much could a 1992 Roosevelt dime actually be worth? If you're fortunate enough to have one of these dimes in pristine, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a value that far exceeds the coin's original face value. These rare coins are extremely valuable to collectors and can fetch impressive amounts at auctions or private sales. Are you ready for the big reveal? A 1992 Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition, especially one with a minting error or unique features, could potentially be worth $40,000. That's right, $40,000 for a single dime. Imagine finding that coin tucked away in your collection or even in your spare change jar. This just goes to show that even a small coin like the 1992 Roosevelt dime can hold an enormous amount of value when it's in the right condition. So, if you've got a stash of old dimes, it's worth taking the time to carefully inspect them. You never know, you might just have a hidden gem on your hands. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more exciting discoveries. The world of coin collecting is full of treasures waiting to be uncovered, and who knows, your next find could be worth a small fortune. Happy collecting, everyone!